What if I told you that every second of your life, the moment you are living right now, already exists somewhere in the universe? That the past isn't gone, the future isn't coming, and what you think of as now is merely your perspective moving through an eternal structure. It sounds impossible, almost like science fiction, but modern physics suggests exactly this. Time may not flow at all. Every star you see in the night sky is a window into the past. The light reaching your eyes tonight might have left those stars thousands, millions, or even billions of years ago. The Sunday you see is already 8 minutes behind its current state. Even here on Earth, when you look across a room, the light reflecting off objects has traveled fractions of a second before reaching your eyes. Every moment you perceive is already behind. The mind-bending truth deepens when we consider relativity. Albert Einstein showed that simultaneity is subjective. What counts as now for one person may already be the past for someone else, moving differently through space. There is no universal present, no cosmic tick that everyone experiences together. Time is not a river flowing forward. It is a dimension of space-time that contains every event, past, present, and future, all at once. Our brains trick us into thinking time flows. Memory and perception force us to experience moments sequentially, giving the illusion of progression. But physics suggests that every moment you live is already embedded in space-time, just waiting for your consciousness to encounter it. The past doesn't vanish. The future may already exist. And your sense of now is simply the path your mind traces through the eternal architecture of the universe. Once you grasp this, the everyday world feels different. Every moment, every memory, every glimpse of the stars becomes a reminder that time doesn't flow. It only seems to. Every day, time feels like a constant flowing steadily forward. Clocks tick, seasons change, and we move from yesterday to tomorrow with apparent inevitability. But what seems obvious to human intuition turns out to be far from reality. Albert Einstein revealed a universe where time is not a universal river. It is a flexible dimension, intertwined with space itself, sensitive to motion and gravity. In Einstein's theory of relativity, space and time combine into a single fabric called space-time. The passage of time depends on where you are and how you move. Two observers experiencing the same events in different circumstances may measure time differently. For example, astronauts traveling at near light speeds age more slowly than people remaining on Earth, a phenomenon known as time dilation. Even GPS satellites orbiting high above Earth experience tiny differences in time that engineers must correct to maintain accurate navigation. Relativity also destroys the idea of a single universal now. Imagine two people moving relative to each other across vast distances. They might disagree about whether two events like a lightning strike and a solar flare happen simultaneously. What feels present for one may already be past for the other. The universe doesn't come with a built-in clock that ticks identically for all observers. Instead, every observer experiences their own now, shaped by their motion through space-time. Gravity complicates things further. In Einstein's general relativity, massive objects warp space-time, bending both space and time around them. Clocks closer to massive objects tick more slowly than those farther away. So, standing at the base of a mountain versus atop its peak, time itself passes at slightly different rates. Even Earth's own gravity affects the timing of events, making every location in the universe slightly unique in how it experiences the flow of time. This means that the familiar flow of seconds and minutes is not a property of the universe. It is a product of local conditions and perception. Your sense of time moving forward is created by the path your consciousness traces through space-time, not by any fundamental tick. In reality, the moments you experience are just coordinates along your journey, while the past and future are embedded elsewhere in the same cosmic structure. Relativity transforms our understanding. Time is not universal. It is relative. It does not flow uniformly. It depends on motion and gravity, and the boundary between past, present, and future is not absolute, but subjective. The river of time you feel every day may be nothing more than the illusion created by your mind, navigating an eternal, unchanging structure. In this light, our intuitive sense of moving through time becomes a deeply personal experience, rather than a property of the universe itself, setting the stage for an even stranger concept, the block universe, where all moments exist simultaneously, waiting to be discovered by consciousness. Once we accept that time is not universal, and now is relative, a strange but compelling picture emerges. The block universe. In this model, past, present, and future are not separate or fleeting. They all coexist within a single four-dimensional structure known as space-time. Every event that has ever occurred is occurring, or will occur already exists somewhere in this cosmic architecture. Think of space-time like a giant film reel. Every frame of the movie, the opening scene, the climax, the ending already exists on the reel. When we watch the film, it appears to unfold in sequence, but all the frames were always there. Similarly, the block universe suggests that all moments of reality are already present in space-time, and consciousness moves along a path through this structure, giving us the impression of a flowing now. In this framework, your past experiences are not gone. The moment you learn to walk, the time you first spoke, even your very first breath, these events exist within space-time like coordinates on a map. They are no more destroyed by the passage of time than a city disappears from a physical map, just because you leave it. The present moment you experience is simply your current location along your path through the block. One of the most striking implications is that the future may already exist as well. Just as the past remains somewhere in space-time, future events like milestones in your life, the rise and fall of stars, or cosmic collisions in distant galaxies, may already have coordinates in this structure. From this perspective, the flow of time is not a property of the universe. It is the subjective experience of moving along a pre-existing landscape of events. The block universe also explains why relativity predicts that observers moving differently perceive time differently. Each observer follows their own path, or world line, through the block. What one observer experiences as now may be the past or future for another. This makes simultaneity relative. There is no universal present, only perspectives along different world lines, all equally real, within the same block. Even though this idea seems counterintuitive, it resolves many paradoxes of physics. Light from distant stars, gravitational effects, and cosmic events all make sense when time is treated as a dimension that exists alongside space. The block universe preserves the integrity of space-time while allowing the universe to appear dynamic to conscious observers navigating their paths. By adopting this model, we begin to see the past not as vanished, the future not as unknown, but the entire timeline as a permanent, immutable structure. Consciousness alone gives the impression of moving through time, creating a flow that does not actually exist outside our perception. In this sense, every moment is already there, waiting for us to experience it. If the universe already contains every moment in space-time, why does time feel like it flows? Why do we experience seconds ticking by, memories building up, and events unfolding in order? The answer lies not in the fabric of the cosmos, but in the workings of our own consciousness and the physical laws that shape our experience. Human memory is directional. We store information about events that have happened, but we have no records of future events. This creates a natural asymmetry in experience. The past is remembered. The future is unknown. Your mind constructs a timeline from these memories, giving the strong impression that time is moving forward. Without memory, the sensation of sequential moments would vanish entirely. Physics adds another layer through entropy, a measure of disorder in a system. In the universe, entropy tends to increase over time, a principle known as the second law of thermodynamics. Ice melts, smoke spreads. Broken glass does not spontaneously reassemble. This irreversible trend gives time a direction. The arrow of time. Our perception of events unfolding matches this arrow. We remember the past because entropy has already increased, and the future remains uncertain because entropy has not yet reached that state. Interestingly, the fundamental laws of physics themselves, motion, electromagnetism, quantum mechanics often work equally well forward or backward in time. If you filmed a planetary orbit or a chemical reaction and played it in reverse, the equations would still hold. The flow we perceive is not dictated by these basic laws, but emerges from the combination of entropy, memory, and biological processing. Our brains are effectively chronometers of experience, constantly recording what has happened while ignoring what has not. Each moment feels like it moves forward because our perception interprets changes in the world sequentially. The sensation of now is an emergent property of consciousness, navigating a universe where all moments exist simultaneously. Thus, the river of time you feel is a construct. Reality itself may be static, a block universe containing every event, while consciousness moves along a path that gives the impression of flowing moments. The past is still there, the future may already exist, and our perception of time moving forward is simply the mind experiencing its journey through space-time. This understanding reshapes how we think about causality, choice, and the meaning of events. What we call time passing is not a property of the cosmos. It is a reflection of how we process it. And this leads us naturally to the final mind. Bending realization, if the past and future exist as part of the universe's structure, then what we consider gone may still be present somewhere, quietly waiting in space-time. If every moment exists within the block universe, the past is not gone and the future is not yet to come. They are simply elsewhere in space-time. Every event, from the birth of stars to your first breath, is embedded in this cosmic structure. The path your consciousness traces is what gives the impression of moving from past to future. But the universe itself is timeless. Think of space-time as a vast library. Every book, every page, every word has always existed. Your life is one story among millions, but every sentence is already written. Your memories, your experiences, the events you consider history, are coordinates in this library, accessible only because your consciousness moves along its path. The future is already on the shelf, waiting for your perspective to encounter it. This has profound implications. Causality, the sense that one event leads to another, is not violated because your experience is sequential, even though all moments exist simultaneously. Free will still operates within your path, even if the universe as a whole is static. The perception of choices and consequences arises naturally as consciousness navigates space-time, interpreting events in order. Even more mind-bending, the block universe suggests that death, beginnings, endings, all the boundaries we assign to life and events are only boundaries in our perception. From the perspective of space-time, every moment persists indefinitely, quietly coexisting with every other. The river of time is revealed as a mental projection, an emergent feature of human awareness. Recognizing this changes how we see reality. The past is not a memory fading away. It is part of the eternal fabric of the universe. The future is not an unknown void. It is already encoded in space-time, waiting to be experienced. And your present moment is the unique intersection of consciousness and structure, the point where awareness meets the timeless architecture of reality. Understanding that time does not flow fundamentally transforms our view of life, memory, and existence. Every moment is real. Every second already exists. And the illusion of time moving forward is simply the way consciousness perceives the eternal landscape of the universe. Time, as it turns out, is not a river carrying us along. It is a dimension we move through, discovering what has always been there.